Hi, I'm Christina and this is the start of a new weekly reading vlog. So it's actually Wednesday lunchtime now and I'm just about to start a new book, which is Dirty Little Secrets by Jo Spain. So this one is actually in my end of the year book tag that I need to finish before the end of the year because I started it. So as you can see, I've only read a tiny little bit and then I put it down. And the reason for that was because I was doing a readathon and it didn't match any of the prompts. So I read 41 pages. Now I have to say, I can't remember anything at all, so I'm gonna have to start again from the beginning. So I know that it is a thriller and I actually don't know anything about it, so I'll have a quick look on the back. So it says 6 neighbours, 6 secrets, 6 reasons to want Olive Collins dead. So, in the exclusive gated community of Withered Vale, people's lives appear as perfect as their beautifully manicured lawns. Money, success, privilege, the residents here have it all. Life is good. There's just one problem. Olive Collins's dead body has been rotting inside number 4 for the last 3 months. The police start to ask questions and the seemingly flawless facade of Withered Vale begins to crack. Because when it comes to Olive's neighbours, it seems each of them has something to hide, something to lose, and everything to gain from her death. So yeah, I actually can't even remember why I bought this. It must have been someone I was watching on BookTube that said they liked it, and yes, I must have added it to my cart. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into this one. It kind of rings a little bit of a bell now with Olive Collins's body. So yes, but I will be starting from the beginning. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And recently, if you've watched any of my recent vlogs, I've been quite disappointed by most of the books that I've been reading. So I'm hoping this one is going to be thrilling, it's going to be interesting, it's going to keep me guessing. So yeah, that's that one. Hi, it is Thursday lunchtime now and I read a decent chunk of this book yesterday. So I read 163 pages, which is almost a half maybe, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So this is one of those books where you get told from a lot of different perspectives, and I've written down who the different perspectives are again because there's just so many. So the main character who has died is called Olive, and you actually hear from her perspective after she's dead, if that makes sense. So her body is in the room and the police are kind of walking around her body and she's kind of narrating about watching them walk around her body, if that makes sense. And you kind of hear from other different people, like the neighbours, and then we go back to Olive and she kind of says, oh yeah, I remember when this happened, or this is how I thought it went, rather than that. So I think that's a really interesting literary device and I really, really like that. I think it's a really interesting way to present a story. So I'm definitely on board with that. That's great. And also I love stories that are told through like a multitude of different perspectives. I normally always really, really enjoy that. So we also get told from the perspective of 2 of the police people. So one of them is called Frank and one of them is called Emma. And he's kind of the more senior person in their partnership and he's very close to retirement age. I think he's only got about 3 months left on the job. And Emma's quite young. I think she's only 28. So she's like the new up and comer, I guess you could say. And then we hear from a lot of different neighbours in this kind of gated community. So Olive was originally in this little cottage that was kind of on the outskirts of town and hers was the only house around. And then over time, obviously it's kind of a really nice area, so they built these very expensive, exclusive kind of houses in this gated community. So everyone else has been there a lot more recently. She's the resident that's been there the longest, and everyone else is probably a bit more wealthy, a bit more kind of upper professional, I guess you would say. So we have George, who is a single man, and he's kind of an unusual character with some of the things I've heard, but I won't say that because I don't want to spoil it. I think he's about 35 years old and he is the son of what they call Ireland's version of Simon Cowell, apparently. So like a big music person. And then we also have a couple called Lily and David. And I think he's a hedge fund manager and she is a primary school teacher, and they have 2 children and they are twins. And I think they're called Lily May and Wolf. And then the boy, Wolf, was very close with Olive, the woman who died. So that's interesting too. And then we also have Holly and Alison, and I think that's a mother and daughter, and there's definitely a lot going on there. It kind of sounds like the daughter mother's the mother rather than the other way around. And I think the daughter's about 17, 18 now. And then you also have a couple called Chrissy and Matt, and pretty sure he works most of the time. And they have one son called Cameron, and she's having an affair with, is that a spoiler? I don't know. She's having an affair with someone else on the street. And yeah, that might be a spoiler. I won't say anything else. But that's quite interesting. That's kind of an interesting dynamic. And then the last people are Ed and Amelia. And I think they're also a married couple. But yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was 8 perspectives already. And it's only like that much. So I think we've heard from every single neighbour apart from Ron. So perhaps Ron will be soon, or perhaps we'll never hear from Ron. So yeah, sorry, that was probably really, that's a boring way to explain. But you know when you just have a lot of characters to get kind of remembering about. So I guess you could say that can be a negative, because to be honest, if I hadn't written that down, I would be like, who is Holly and Alison again? But no, I'm really enjoying it so far. And because I read that, not in one chunk, I read a little bit at lunchtime and then a little bit later on. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to carry on with this. It's really good so far. I'm not quite sure what the front cover's all about with, yeah, that woman lying in the swimming pool. But anyway, yeah, I think it's really good so far, and I'm looking forward to carrying on with it. So it is Friday lunchtime and it's snowing. It's definitely not sticking on the ground, but it is snowing. So there's that. Hi, so it is Saturday morning now and I've read quite a bit more of my book. So I'm up to page 290. So about 3/4 through, I would say. And honestly, it started to slow down a bit. I was so disappointed. So before, it had a pretty decent pace, like listening to all the different neighbours and what was going on. And then it's kind of in the past, that kind of amount, it's just kind of slowed right down. And I'm not quite as interested in some of the characters as I was. So some of the like big secrets that they were going to try and reveal, like the issues between the neighbours and Olive, have been a little bit kind of dull, just a little bit boring. So I was kind of expecting a little bit more with some of the reveals. We have heard from the final character now, Ron. So that was good. So we have literally every single person's perspective, all of the neighbours, both of the police officers. So that's good. But yeah, it's a little bit more boring now than I expected. So I'm probably wanting to finish off the last chunk in one go, and I'll probably read that tomorrow now. So yeah, but hopefully it'll pick back up because I was really liking it. And this seems to be quite the theme at the moment with books that I'm reading, that I'm really enjoying it most of the way through, and then it gets a little bit slower and I kind of get less excited about it. So hopefully that like curse of books becoming disappointing is going to stop soon. So yeah. Hi, it is Monday lunchtime now, so I haven't actually read any more of my book at all. I've had such a busy weekend that I haven't had time to read at all. So I did a little bit of Christmas shopping yesterday, so I thought I'd show you something that I treated myself to. So it isn't books, obviously, but I still think it's quite exciting. So it's this Hourglass blusher. Now I've wanted an Hourglass blusher for years now, genuinely quite a few years, but they're quite pricey, so I've always kind of put myself off it and thought, no, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. And this one is called Sublime Flush, and I think it's so beautiful. So you can see the reflection of me in there because it's shiny, but it's such a beautiful colour. So there it is. It's kind of this like really gorgeous pink, and I love the way that it kind of has the different colours running through it. So that's that. I am really excited about that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap up the blog here, seeing as it's Monday. So if you are interested in my thoughts on that book, I will probably finish it sometime this week. So make sure you watch next week's vlog.
Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye!